What is that? It sounds like a whisper. The whisper is getting louder.
You must find the garden. The name is in the garden, and without the name, the mask is worthless.
I know, but where shall I begin? No one here knows where it is, let alone whether it even exists.
It does exist, but to find it, you need the mask. I'm so close. While the most powerful men in Avestan smash heads in the Gorian desert, I'll restore the realm of my fathers, and there will be no one left to stand in my way.
Is this the same garden the staff spoke of? What is Kasim planning? I eavesdropped on the prince. He's looking for some garden. He wants to use it to seize power after the battle.
Surely not the Garden of Oblivion.
You know something about it?
Well, yes. It's just a legend, but they say there's a hidden cave somewhere in the Rashtulian Wall, near the volcano Rashtul Kancharot. The cave bears the name the Garden of Oblivion, because everything that takes place there is forgotten by time itself, whatever that means.
Does the legend also mention a mask?
Yes, there was something about that, but I'd have to do some research to be sure.
That doesn't sound like something I need to concern myself with. If Kasim's attention is really on a cave in the Rashtulian Wall and not on the battle, then he's no longer my problem, so we can safely turn our attention towards our actual goal.
The Garden of Oblivion? Have you ever heard of that?
No, never. But this story gets stranger from page to page. I may be mistaken, but something about this garden feels wrong. I can't say what just yet.
Keep reading.
Admiral Wahim turned a deaf ear to every warning, but I felt the danger emanating from this garden. The girl, on the other hand, had tasted blood. I think she imagined the garden was something that could help her achieve her ambitions, only she didn't know precisely how.
Well, are you taking me with you or not?
I don't know what you think, Wahim, but I like her.
All right then. We set sail at dawn. Rest until then. The cots in Keishalri are far less comfortable than those here. You've come just in time, Xerxes. The girl has just joined our army, which, in my eyes, makes her a good bit more sensible than your entire council.
All right. If you vouch for her, as long as she doesn't hurl us all into disaster, I don't care.
He didn't like that at all.
Quite right. Well, back to the fortress for me. Here's to a glorious battle, you two.
I'm going to look round the library a bit. The talk of this Garden of Oblivion has made me curious.
I hear a whisper, like something evil lives there. What's that? In the center of the darkness, there's a pedestal. And on top of that, feels like a lamp. I'll take it. Huh? Did the darkness come from the lamp then?
Xerxes!
Calm down. I'm allowed to leave my room now. What sort of room is this?
A workshop.
And what do you do here?
As an ore elementalist, I study stones and crystals.
And dangerous artifacts.
Those too.
What are you studying now?
An elemental sphere. Don't bother me, I have a good feeling right now. The work is going very smoothly.
What do you know about this mask here?
I don't like it. It gives me an uneasy feeling.
Examine the mask.
Later.
When later?
Please, stop harassing me with your annoying questions. I feel good about this sphere right now. I need to make use of this inspiration.
You only research things that give you a good feeling?
I associate warmth and light with the sphere. With the mask, I associate only cold flesh and death. Does that answer your question?
How are you feeling now?
I associate warmth and light with the mask.
Have you taken a closer look at the staff on the table?
Briefly.
And?
It is ensouled. Longer study will show what lies within.
Aha. What is this then?
It's a whetstone. I'm indifferent towards it. It just serves its purpose.
The stone tablet is broken.
Don't remind me. I tripped and now it's ruined. Every time I think about it, I almost lose my will to live.
What are these rocks?
Don't be arrogant. They're not mere rocks. They're ores, and very important and valuable to me.
Hey, no answer. Not as long as I don't have to.
Stay away from me with those toys. I could very easily break through this darkness if I wanted to.
It looks as though we're finally rid of each other. Aren't you talking to me anymore? As you wish. What happened to Rahwan was terrible. I hope you know that. It's hot. You must have a lot to keep clean.
Yes, and I hate it. I hate this broom.
Is that your tea?
Yes, it keeps me warm. Its aroma reminds me of comforting things and good times.
No. Better not.
Stay away. This artifact might be dangerous.
What's that?
You wouldn't understand even if I were willing to explain it to you.
It's only a part of the seal. Something's still missing. I feel a rhythm, like a heartbeat.
Hey! Hey!
Behind it, I can see the shape of a large statue. A single hand rests in the center of the ornament. It's ice cold. It's shiny and clean. Just a moment, there's an odd indentation. I see water on the other side. I see water. Why is it so cold here?
The Library of Draconia is supervised by the Ice Faculty. Writing is like ice. It freezes a moment in time. In this case, for eternity.
What kind of runes are these?
Oh, those are the symbols of the 6 elements. That rune stands for fire. That's clearly the symbol for air. That symbol represents ice. That symbol stands for water. That's probably the symbol for ore. That's the symbol for earth, if I'm not mistaken. The ice djinn in these halls has shown me the way to an ancient text. It's one of the few in which the Garden of Oblivion is mentioned.
And?
It's a travelogue by a mage named Halef ben Jalif. He was a servant of one of the Mogul mages and sent out to find the garden.
Which Mogul mage?
The last of the Moguls, Malakar. Unfortunately, he never found the garden, and fearing punishment, he began to hide from his master's lackeys. He feared that if he were found, they would, here I quote, "First place the mask on me, and then transform me into a lifeless artifact."
What sort of artifact?
Who knows? Perhaps a ring or a bracelet.
Or a staff?
Those old Moguls really knew how to ruin someone's life.
What was his name again?
He was called Halef ben Jalif. I wonder if they ever caught him.
What does the log say about the garden?
It says that some sort of magic word is buried in the garden. A word that will awaken the true power of Malakar's mask, and that 3 secret chambers will point the way there. The rest is just incoherent nonsense.
Are you sure?
Yes. The search for the garden must have gone to Jalif's head. He babbles that the place was created by an ancient entity, a servant of time, and that Satinav, the Lord of Time, separated the garden from our spheres, so that nothing that happens in the garden would have consequences for our reality. Then there's something about lies that become truth, and a hole in the Book of Time. Obviously the inventions of a half-wit.
There's a spell buried in the garden which will waken the true power of the mask? What is its true power?
It says here that the mask presents its bearer with a choice. He either decides for sweet oblivion or to undo things which once happened, as if they never came to pass.
That sounds very powerful.
Oh yes, it does. More than a few would murder for such power.
3 chambers show the way?
Yes, their entrances are located somewhere in Draconia. Keep an eye out for this symbol. You can have the pages, if you like.
Thank you.
However, to open the chambers, you need to have the mask with you. Until you have the mask, there's no point in searching for the chambers.
Are you inciting me to steal?
I'm only here to pass on knowledge. What you do with it is your business, and yours alone.
The garden was created by a servant of time?
Correct. They say this servant sleeps in the 3 chambers and waits for a mage to wake him.
Does it have to be a mage?
Yes. Only the presence of magic will disturb his sleep.
Who is Satinav?
Satinav is the guardian of time. He watches over the Book of Time. and make sure that no one disturbs or changes the things written there.
Has anyone ever seen him?
No, he's only a legend.
That's enough for now. What else do you know about Ben Jalif?
Not much. He was given the mask and sent out to find the garden. That's all it says here. You know, I find it curious that you've never heard anything about this at all. I noticed your tattoo. You're a descendant of Malachai yourself, aren't you? Have you learned nothing from your forefathers?
No, I'm hearing about all this for the first time.
And our prince, above the observatory. He's your brother, isn't he? I just wonder what drives you. An uncanny determination glues in your eyes. Either you'll achieve the impossible, or you'll descend into the deepest madness.
I won't be stopped.
I only want to warn you. Please, take care of yourself.
I know now who you are. Your name is Halef Ben Jalif. You were Malachai's servant. He sent you to find the Garden of Oblivion, but you only made it as far as Draconia. As a punishment, the mask was placed on you. Your memory was stolen, and you were made into what you are now. Yes.
What did the staff say?
It's not written here. The air elementalist could only write down what his spirit observed, not what happened in Saj's mind.
Rats! I've been waiting for this moment for so long, and now this.
So you're a victim of the mask yourself. I suppose I can forgive you. The spell only works on living beings. Weren't you once able to petrify people entirely? Maybe you'll recall how you did that.
The mask no longer seems quite so repellent, but I still get bad vibrations from it. The mask no longer seems... I've developed an interest in the mask, but first I should finish with the sphere. How repulsive. How can something so beautiful conjure such ill feelings? Time to devote myself to something nicer. So that's it.
Is there anything new?
The mask is a reservoir. It stores memories.
Sure, by draining them from people.
Yes, but that's trivial. What's really fascinating is that it stores everything which happens around it. It's as though it observes the world in silence and takes note of everything. If we were to succeed in reversing its effect, we would have access to an enormous archive of past times. I have a good feeling about this.
How can the magic of the mask be reversed?
That sort of thing takes time. I would attempt to weave a modification of a reverse Salis into a gemstone and then attach that to the mask. If the spell inside the mask is then recited, it should have the converse effect. Instead of emptying the wearer, it would begin to transmit stored memories to him.
I want you to reverse the effect of the mask.
That will take time. Besides, I lack an appropriate gemstone.
Take this ruby, weave the reversal spell into it, and reverse the effect of the mask.
I told you, it isn't that easy. First, I need to examine the quality of the stone. Possibly grind it again.
We don't have time for that. I want to know what the mask knows. Please, you have to do it.
I will, but not yet. Such hasty action would be much too risky.
Do as I tell you.
Such an intervention is dangerous.
I need everything I can get my hands on in order to survive in the gore. My life is at stake here, so do it.
Yeah, we can do all that. You'll now become either completely stupid or entirely enlightened. Fadan faskadan esplasta quatan, murilor gras ferel goran, hulbe mutir gerul felan, juntir quatan feluntir sudan. Hey, can you hear me?
I had a vision.
Someone else's memory? So it worked!
You sound surprised.
You're very lucky that you're still able to speak. What else did you learn? Did you learn any new skills? If so, show me. You can cast spells?
I only remember this one spell. No, wait. There's more.
The more frequently you call upon the memories in the mask, the more they'll be accessible to you. Take off the mask. Do you still remember?
No. The spells are gone.
As I suspected, the effect is only active as long as you wear the mask. Put it on again and cast the second spell. Stop playing with my thoughts. Let me try one more thing. Remove the ruby and put the mask on again. Can you still cast spells?
Yes. I remember more and more.
Ha! I'm brilliant! Once the ruby has created a connection between the wearer and the mask, the bond remains even without the stone. That's enough for now. Give me the mask and you can go.
He was turned into a small crystal. I suppose the spell isn't very precise about what sort of stone it transforms someone into. Yes, that's true. He was turned into a small crystal. I suppose the spell isn't... They're growing beautifully. What are you doing? Psst,
An earth spirit is sleeping beneath us. It sees to the fertility of the soil. Right now, it's asleep. Please be quiet, all right?
They're growing beautifully. The drawing fits exactly. It's only a part of the seal. Something's still missing. I feel the mask in my pocket. It's pulling me, drawing me there. I could petrify them all with my spell.
Who is doing magic in my chamber? I've slept for so long. Please, awaken me with your magic. All of a sudden, I'm getting so sleepy. All of a sudden,
Nothing is happening.
Don't be frightened. Remain seated. There's something you should know. Listen well, and you will understand. Once there was Satinav, the guardian of time. Satinav wrote everything that happened, was going to happen, and had happened in his book of time. Anyone who deviated from the path written in the book or sought to rewrite time was punished by Satinav with the worst punishment that could ever be inflicted on anyone. He ripped the poor soul from its existence as if it had never been there at all. What no one remembers is that Satinav had a servant. Me, the Djinn of Time, Nemoremnon. In the name of my lord I roamed the ages, punishing heretics and healing the rents in the fabric of time that their heresy had caused. I was powerful, and yet I was only a servant to the boundless tyranny of a careworn master. Then came the day on which everything would change. When a woman came before Satinav with her dead son, she begged for the life of her child, for an adjustment of time. But Satinav, in his infinite cruelty, would not listen. I, however, took pity on the creature, and in an act of boundless benevolence, I created my mightiest tool. A mask. My mask. And I gave it to the creature, so that never again would anyone lose something so precious.
Weird.